Hi, my name is Unique, and I am a student from North Carolina Central. This is my sister who has agreed to do the video for us today. Today, I'm going to be assessing her thorax and chest, as well as her heart and neck vessels. So first, I'm going to start off by asking her a few questions about her thorax and chest. Do you smoke cigarettes?
No.
Okay. Have you had a family history of lung disease?
No.
Okay. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and observe her chest. I'm going to make sure that her breathing is within normal limits, which it is. Um, Her breath sounds are regular, so it's not the speed of her breath is regular. Her respirations are deep, and there's no retraction or sinking in of the intercostal spaces. So that's good. And her chest is very symmetric. And then I'm gonna look and make sure her anterior posterior ratio to her transverse ratio is a 2 to 1, which is normal. Um, so next I'm gonna go ahead and inspect the posterior part of her chest. And it should be shaped like a cone. So if you stand up for me, I'm going to assess the back of your chest. And her chest is shaped like a cone. And while she's standing up here, I am going to also check her chest expansion. So what I'm going to need you to do is take a deep breath in and out for me. Alright, so her chest expansion is normal. You can go ahead and sit down. So next what I'm going to do is palpate on her chest for any tenderness. I'm going to examine her chest and note the color. Make sure she does not have any pallor or cyanosis while I'm doing so. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me know if you have any pain or tenderness while I'm palpating, okay? And then I'm going to look under your shirt and make sure there's no cyanosis or pallor. All right. You feel any pain? All right. I'm gonna lift right here. Feel any pain?
No.
Okay, so she did not feel any pain or tenderness during the palpation of her anterior of the chest. So I'm going to go ahead and palpate the posterior. Can you stand up for me? All right, do you feel any pain or tenderness?
No.
All right, so I'm going to have you sit down. So she did not feel any pain or tenderness while I was palpating her chest. I'm going to examine her chest for any cyanosis or pallor. Alright, so I didn't see any cyanosis or pallor there. So I'm going to look at the back of her chest. Alright, and I didn't see any cyanosis or pallor on the back of her chest, which is excellent. So now I'm going to go ahead and make sure auscultate her trachea, and listen to her lung sounds. Alright, so what I'm going to have you do here is I'm going to put this bell of the stethoscope on your trachea, and I need you to take a deep breath in for me, and then out, and then hold it, okay? Okay, deep breath in, out, and then hold it. All right, so when I listened to her trachea, after she took that deep breath out and hold it, I didn't hear any abnormal sounds when doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to her chest now. All right, take a deep breath in and then out. Deep breath in. All right, keep going. Deep breath in. Out. All right, and then I'm gonna lift up here. Deep breath in. All right. Deep breath in. All right, I'm gonna listen on this side. Deep breath in. Then out. All right. And then I'm gonna also listen on this side. Deep breath in. Out. In. Out. In. Out. All right, so I listened to her chest. I didn't hear any abnormal sounds, no swishing sounds or anything of that sort. So now I'm going to have her stand up and I'm going to listen to her posterior spots on her chest. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the front with the back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and lift your shirt up. I'm going to let her keep her shirt on, of course, for just privacy matters. But I'm going to go under the shirt with the diaphragm. I do know that in a hospital setting, the patient will have a gown, and I will be able to ask them to remove their gown so that I can listen to the sounds just on the bare skin so that the clothes won't be rattling. So I do know to do that, but for privacy matters, I'm going to go ahead and let her keep her shirt on. All right, deep breath in and out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and then I'm going to come laterally and listen. So this is her left side. So on your left side, you have 2 lobes, but on your right side, you have 3. So on her right side, I'm going to go ahead and listen to the 2 lobes laterally. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in, then out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. All right, so I went ahead and listened to her her auscultations of her chest, and I didn't hear any abnormal sounds. I didn't hear any bruits, and that concludes the thorax and chest. So now I'm going to go ahead and move over to the heart and neck vessels. I'm going to go ahead and get her to sit back down for me. So with the heart and neck vessels, the first thing I'm going to start off is just asking her 3 questions. Do you have any history or family history of heart disease?
No.
Okay, have you ever had a stent put in?
No.
Okay, have you ever had any heart problems such as like asthma, bronchitis, or anything of that sort? Okay. All right, so she did report no to those questions, so I'm just going to go ahead on with the assessment. So next I'm going to get her to lay down in a supine position. You can just go ahead and lay down. For purposes, because I have to Well, I'm at home and I can't get her to sit up but so high. I know that in a hospital I will sit them up to 45 degrees, and I will also remove the pillow from the back of their neck. So I would go ahead and do those things at the time, but for the sake of me being at home and having to just work with what I got, I'm going to allow her to lay right there. I'm going to get her to turn her head to the left, and I'm going to palpate her carotid artery and look at her jugular artery. So if you can turn your head to the left for me. All right, so her jugular artery is flat, so there's no abnormalities there. So you can turn it back. The next thing I'm going to do is palpate her carotid arteries, and note her strength, and note the upstroke. So I'm going to palpate this one first. And so the strength of this is 2 plus. It is within normal range. And her upstroke is smooth. I'm going to listen to the other one as well and note the strength and the upstroke. And the strength is 2 plus. I don't know if I mentioned that. And the upstroke is smooth and strong. All right. So with the carotid artery on both sides, they were both in within normal range. The strength was 2 plus, and her upstroke was smooth and strong. So the next thing I'm going to do is listen to her arteries with the bell part of my stethoscope. So I'm going to note any abnormal sounds or any swishing or anything like that. I'm going to get her to breathe in and out and then hold it. So the only thing that I'm hearing is the pulsations. All right, so I'm going to do this part first. Breathe in, out, and then hold. All right, same thing with this side. Breathe in, out, and then hold. All right, so I was able to hear her pulsations. I didn't hear any swishing or any abnormal sounds with the carotid artery. So now I'm going to move to the pericardium and just look at her respiration movements, and I'm also going to palpate her point of maximum impulse. Okay, so her respiratory movements is normal and within range, and I'm going to go ahead and palpate her maximum point of impulse, which is going to be right here. Okay, so I palpated her point of maximum impulse, and it is normal. And her respiration movements are within normal range. And so I'm going to go ahead and auscultate, and just listen to her, the aortic, the pulmonic valve, the angle of Louis, also the fifth intercostal space, which is the tricuspid, and the mitral valve. And I'm going to also listen to Erb's point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Um, Okay, and now I'm going to listen to Erb's point, which is going to be right here in between, I would say, the tricuspid and the pulmonic valve. And out. So I was feeling for the fifth intercostal space so I can listen to her tricuspid. You got that? Okay, so I had her take a deep breath in and out while I was doing that because I've noticed that I'm able to hear her pulsations better. Her lub dub sounds better after she takes a deep breath in and out and hold it. So that's what I've been doing, and I can hear her lub dub sounds at all of those points. Um, so the next thing I'm going to do, I didn't hear any murmurs or any clicks or any extra sounds. And they're all within normal range. And so I'm going to listen to the back of her chest now. So can you stand up for me? And like I said before, I'm going to allow her to keep her shirt on just for privacy matters. But I do know that in a hospital setting, I would just ask them to either open their gown at the back so that I can get to it without having to hear the rustling, bustling of the clothes. All right. So, all of those, the love dubs that I heard, I didn't hear any murmurs or any extra sounds. Everything was in within normal range. Over her brachial and her trachea, well, her trachea area, I heard brachial sounds. Over her peripheral and posterior area, I heard vesicular sounds. And over her chest area, the main chest, I heard bronchovesicular. And that's going to go ahead and conclude our assessment for the heart and neck vessels and also the throat and the thorax and the chest. Thank you.